Hey, aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. I'm your host, Savvy, the founder of Give Me a Break, which is a nonprofit organization caring for caregivers. And we're here to bring back the joy of caregiving. And each week, we help caregivers to survive. That's right. I said survive. And you all know why I say survive, because we're here to beat that statistic. 50% of caregivers will pass before the one that they are caring for. Not acceptable. We're here to change that. We're here to strengthen you as a caregiver, help you to grow, help you to find joy and survive. And not just survive, but even past that, beyond caregiving, to continue to thrive. You can check out our website and let me click that button. You guys know I'm my own IT person. There we go. You can check out our website at http the double dot slash anyway, gab808.org is where you can find us. And if you type in gab808, it'll probably pop up, or just type in give me a break and we'll pop right up there on any search engine. And go ahead. We've got a lot of information there. Also, there's when you go onto our homepage, there's now a support request button. So you could request support and take a little quick survey, and we will definitely get back to you because, I know you guys are tired. I know you're frustrated. I know you're exhausted, and it's hard. Caregiving's hard. And so we're here to help you. We're here for the caregiver. Now, we don't give caregiving services. We don't come in and take care of the person you're caring for. That's not what we do. We're here for the caregiver. So check us out, get on our website. And, we offer you a break, right? Give me a break. We offer you a break each week at our support sessions, and they are online and free. So convenient and super affordable. So you can check us out. Oh, wait, got to do this now. There we go. Did I do it? No, add to stage. There we go. You can just see it right there on the screen. For those of you that are watching live, we offer you a break, and you can come on any Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Every caregiver really needs this. This is your safe space. This is where anything goes. You're in a group, a community of caregivers just like you. So if you have to say something negative, positive, and I always call it the good, bad, and the ugly, shows my age because of that movie, but it's the good, bad, and the ugly of caregiving are completely okay. It's normal. It's what caregivers do and say, and we're there in your safe space to join hands with you, give you support, share tips. And I also put in a little bit of education each week to help you practice and survive to get through caregiving. And more importantly, for your wellness and your self-care. Okay, what else have I got here? Oh, the Care and Caregiver Show, I got to take that one off now. I'm trying a new format, so be patient with me, you guys. Here we go, add it to stage, and there we go. Oh, change one more. That's a lot of buttons. I need an IT person. I keep putting a call out there. I need a volunteer person to help me. The Caring Caregiver Show, as you all know, is sponsored by the Giver's Guides magazine. Giver's Guides is a caregiver's guides to caregiving. It's written exclusively for you from a caregiver's point of view, by caregivers, for caregivers. In fact, this month's issue, we're featuring one of the caregivers that was in our Caregiver of the Year contest. And George, an amazing person, and his whole family, who once his mother passed from Parkinson's, started their own nonprofit called Together for Sharon. And you can read all about it in this month's article. So go and get it. Go to giversguides.com and get your subscription, and know that all the profits go to Give Me a Break. So it helps Give Me a Break do what we do as well. All righty. And so where are we? We are at episode 3 of season 11. I am so honored to have been continuing this show for 11 seasons and to bring all these wonderful, wonderful souls and hearts and resources to all of you all of this time. And I can't wait for us to keep going and keep continuing, and knowing this season especially is going to be even life-changing. So You don't want to miss it. And speaking of life changing, today, we're going to make a difference for you. And we have back, oh, I'm so excited to finally bring you back and have Audrey's Mindful Moments. You all remember Audrey and Audrey's Mindful Moments. Hello, Audrey. Welcome. And Audrey's a yoga and meditation instructor based on Hawaii Island. Also, Audrey's a divorce coach as well. So we were just talking about that. And a lot of times we don't talk about you doing that. So what a wonderful way to holistically kind of look at this situation and change in your life, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
But welcome anyway, Audrey, and the stage is yours. So let's have our wonderful mindful moment for the day.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Savvy. I am so grateful, excited to be back here. Thank you for having me. Hello, beautiful, beautiful caregivers. It is a little bit chilly here in Onanivaimea on the northwest side of Hawaii Island. But regardless of temperature, we go into our mindful moment together right now. I would love for you to find a seat. If you are listening and running around chopping vegetables, whatever you are doing, if you can sit down, please do. If not, pause. Stand tall. Let's bring our hands to our heart. It doesn't really matter. I put my left hand first and then my right hand on top, but you can go the other way around. And then close the eyes, unless you're driving, of course. Close the eyes. Whew, big exhale through the mouth with a big sigh. Nice. And then inhale through the nose. And imagine you can see the inhale filling up your belly area and then filling up in the ribs and then filling up in the chest, right there under your hands. Keep going, a little more inhale. And then big exhale through the mouth with a big sigh. Let all that out. Beautiful. Let's open the eyes. You can keep the hands on the heart or you can put them on your thighs. Let them dangle alongside you, whatever works. Let's give ourselves, our bodies, a little shake, a little wobble. Shake it off, as Taylor Swift says. And then let's make some head circles. I don't know about you, but if jaw clenching was an Olympic sport, I would hold the gold medal. So from clenching my jaw, I get all this tension in the jawline, down in the neck, and then in those top muscles at the top of our shoulders. They're called traps or trapezius. So when you make the head circles, that's what you probably will feel are your traps. Go ahead, reverse the other way. We're just, loosening. Close the eyes if you can. It does help to not be seeing whatever's around us, the dishes in the sink or whatever it is that needs doing. And then let's reverse again, go the other way. Whew. Now, if you move through life really fast, go ahead and slow these circles down. Slow, slow, slow. And take a moment here, just to feel maybe a little tightness, maybe a little stickiness. I feel it too. I'm a yoga teacher. I do this for a living and I still teach it. I still feel it, I mean. So I know you feel it. Let's reverse one more time. Beautiful. Nice. And then from here, come upright. Let's make some shoulder circles. The shoulders are a spot also that hold all that tension. Shoulder blades. If this is a little awkward, go ahead and just move one shoulder. Totally fine. I like to do mine together. And then reverse. Beautiful. If you've moved just one shoulder, go ahead and change to the other one. So we'll reverse the circle for those of us that are going both ways or both shoulders at once. My words today. And then reverse again. Nice. 2 more circles, whichever way you're going. Last one. Whew. Stand tall or sit upright. Bring those hands to your heart center one more time. And again, if you can, if it's safe, close the eyes. Right here. You might repeat after me. I matter. What I do matters. What I do is incredibly important. The work I do is incredibly powerful. I am loved. I am supported by beautiful shows like this one. One more big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then go ahead and take your right hand, bring it over to your left shoulder, little rub here, and then pat yourself on the shoulder. Good job, me. Good job, body. You are doing incredible work. Thank you for what you do, caregivers. Thank you so much, Savvy, for having me back on season
Oh, I
11.
love it. I love it. It's
Thank
so
you.
wonderful. It's, when I do that all the time, right? The add a caregiver. So that is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Audrey. We look forward to seeing you next week, right?
Yes.
And aloha.
Aloha.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. Don't you just feel like renewed? I do. I feel just, and it only takes a moment. And this is really what we talk about all the time. In fact, in the current issue of the Giver's Guides, there's an article called How to Find a Moment. And it's really good. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope it's really good. And you'll enjoy reading that. So again, get subscribed. My next guest, I actually met at the National Caregiving Summit in Washington when I went this past October. Speaking of life changing, that was an awesome, awesome couple of days. And being there and meeting so many amazing people and being able to get onto Capitol Hill and meet some of our legislatures was really eye opening and just heartwarming for me. I took back some wonderful memories and was able to meet one of these people that I met, was so impressed, and her heart. I just had to have her on the show, and she's actually a caregiving coach. That's right. Bet you didn't know that you could get a coach and have one. I'm. I mean, no one really knows what we're doing, right? We're caregivers. We're just kind of thrown into this. And, we don't always know if we're doing the right thing. So, to help us to be better, please welcome, please welcome the CEO, founder of Empowered Potential International, caregiving coach, Abna Apau. Welcome, Abna. It is so great to see you again.
Good to see you again too, Savi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I just love it. And again, I met some wonderful people, and actually today we were supposed to have one of them. Laura Blessing was going to come on, and she was so courteous to actually give you her spot today.
Yes.
And we just had some technical difficulties last week, and you couldn't get on for some reason. So we got you on today, and I'm so glad. So one of the first things I always do is I always tell people to please share your caregiving story, or what brought you to do what you do for caregivers.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. And it was so lovely to meet you at the Caregiving Summit last year. And I agree, they're doing such powerful work. I wish I'd known about their work when I was a caregiver.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you my story now. So my late husband, Joseph Buckley, was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2013. And prior to his diagnosis, caregiving was not on my radar at all. We were a newly married couple. We were 8 months pregnant with our first child and a month away from our second year wedding anniversary. And, everything was just like, this is the part of your life where you get
Your
to be
dream.
really happy, right? All the things are happening. And so when he had a major seizure during our baby moon trip, it was just all shock. And frankly, it took me years to even identify with the title caregiver, because it was all coming at us at once.
So
And pretty quickly after his, went to the hospital and they did some scans, they told us he did have a brain tumor and he needed to be seen pretty quickly to determine what kind it was, how fast it was growing. all of that. And within about a couple of weeks after doing the scans, they did tell us that he had a astrocytoma at the time, a malignant brain tumor, and that we could give birth to our first child, but he needed to start treatment right away. And so the very first year, 2 weeks after our first child was born, he was off to start radiation and chemotherapy treatment, and did that for the full first year. And then, and I'll pause here and say, it was the hardest time in our lives ever, both to be grappling with the fact that I was a new mom, he was a new dad, who at the time, because of radiation treatment, they told us he really shouldn't hold our son very much. They just didn't know what potential impacts there could be on a baby. So that was really hard as well. And also trying to take care of him through treatments. And thank goodness he had family that lived close by who could help us. But it was every day taking care of both a baby and a husband, and also a husband who was a new father and was grappling with the grief of not being able to be the kind of father that he wanted to be and thought he was going to be. Yeah. And anyway, so, went through all of that. And then we had 2 years of a break, and then the tumor started growing again. And they had told us in the beginning he would have about 5 to 7 years to live. And after 2 more years of a break, we got pregnant with our second child, and then it started growing again. And he died when our second child was 10 months old.
Wow.
So I come to caregiving as someone who did not understand the title. I mean, fully, of course, understood when you get married is for richer, for poor, for sickness and health, but anticipating that would happen in old age and not knowing at all. And so when I think about your show, the guides that you're creating, the space that you're creating, I so wish I had access
all
to.
that.
Yeah, when I was going
I'm the same way. That's why I do what I do, because I keep saying to myself, I wish I had this. Okay, well, I'll do it now. I wish I had this. Well, I'll do it now. And so that no other caregiver has to really go through that. And, I do remember your story, and just hearing it again, the impact of it. So many people define a caregiver. First of all, we go from calm to chaos in a moment, right? And then they define a caregiver as usually somebody who's taking care of somebody who's older, or it's something that happens when we're older, right? We grow up, we take care of our parents as they age. And that's kind of the visual that people have of being a caregiver. And we have to redefine this, right? A caregiver, and, Rosalind Carter said it best, right? You either we're a caregiver, are a caregiver, will be a caregiver, or will need one, right? Everyone's a caregiver, but that definition it needs to be broader, right? Yes. A mom is a caregiver, and you got hit in so many of those stations. You got hit as a new mom. As a wife, you are a caregiver to another person, as your husband was a caregiver to another person. So just becoming married or in a relationship, you're a caregiver. You're a caregiver as parents. You're a caregiver to your husband who is now ill. I mean, there's so many stations of being a caregiver, and you now also fit the other term, which was a sandwich caregiver.
Yeah. Yes.
And you had it at both sides, and so a lot of people say, oh, I'm not a caregiver. And we need to redefine that, because being a caregiver means you care. And I jokingly say people, pets, and plants, right? And so you're a caregiver because you're caring for another life.
Yes.
And in your case here now, you had all these lives that you're suddenly caring for, that when you thought you were going to just be momming it, and being a wife and enjoying this wonderful, idyllic relationship, and you got hit with that. So that obviously, like me, what my experience moved me to start my nonprofit. I'm sure all of this is what moved you to start doing what you do to coach, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it felt like when we were going through it, I didn't even know where to look. It just felt like a constant emergency. And it was only with time that during our journey that I would periodically say, wait a minute, this particular issue is not just a one and done. It keeps popping up. How do I address it? And I do a strategic planning in my professional life. And so I think I just naturally started taking that strategic planning approach to my life, where it's felt like, okay, we're having a hard time having regular healthy meals, and my husband needs to be able to be on a keto diet right now. Okay, I'm going to find somebody who can do that. Or, we having trouble in the morning when I've got to get his medications, then he has several. I need to pay attention, and I need to get the kids out of the door. We're going to get somebody over here so that I can do that. And so slowly putting these resources in place for myself, it helped us cope. And I felt like toward the end of his life, it meant that I actually, for the first time, had real time to spend with him, where I wasn't just doing your
Yeah.
medication and your this test and your,
Yeah.
checking for your seizure, whatever. I had real time to spend.
Wow.
And in our case, we knew our time was limited. So I
Yeah.
really didn't have the luxury of hoping that, who knows, maybe we'll have 20
Maybe
years.
something will right.
I didn't have that. And so I built it. And so now when I think about the coaching work that I do, it's all in service of, there are real solutions to the challenges that many caregivers go through. And I want to be able to take those experiences that I went through and pass it forward to others who are going through that experience as well.
I love that. And that's so awesome. And that's, and that's why another reason why I really wanted you on the show as a resource, and not just to tell your story, but as a resource, because I know your heart's behind that, right? And your passion is that mission, and it aligns with our passion mission, which is, to pass it, to pay it forward, to pass that knowledge forward, and to make and change caregiving and other people's life experiences, because it shouldn't be a drudgery. It shouldn't be
Exactly.
something you look back and say, God, that was the worst time of my life. It shouldn't be that way. There should be moments of joy mixed in. There should be moments of growth and discovery, and that you can still continue to dream.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the other piece of it for me, the human experience really matters to me, right? It's work that I've been drawn to professionally. So I'm doing strategic planning. I'm also doing customer experience work. And the reason that I'm drawn to it is, my husband has been gone 6+ years now. And I look back on it and I still have grief that pops up around how at times I felt like I was so overwhelmed. I wasn't really looking at him. I wasn't really trying to spend time. I didn't have the bandwidth. I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I look back and I think, gosh, I wish I'd figured some of this stuff out sooner. I would have loved to have really given him that kind of time where you as the patient and me, even as the caregiver, I'm really connecting with you, because that time is not for forever. And I want other people to have that, because those kinds of regrets and that kind of sadness, it sits with you. When those moments of grief pop up for me, they're gut wrenching, and there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it because he's gone. I
Yeah.
don't want that for anybody else, even if it means they can get, a couple more moments every single day, every single week with the person they're caring for. To me, that's such a gift that cannot be
Yeah.
replaced.
Exactly. And it's kind of like and it's like that song, right? One More Day, by, I think it's Diamond Rio. And when it comes on, literally just goes right to that trauma and squeezes every tear out of me, because I can't go back, and I can't have that moment. I can't I can't reverse time. I can't change that. I was too preoccupied with chaos to
Yes.
create a moment, and I can't release that always, right? We
Yes.
let go of the guilt, and we eventually learn to recover from that, but it's still there, and it's always going to be there, right? And when I hear, especially that song, it just kind of gut wrenches me when I was caring for my mother, because with dementia, and I knew she was going to start forgetting,
Hmm.
but you don't know when, and you don't know if it's gradual or just one day. And it was the next day. If I knew that next day she would forget who I was, I would
Right.
have done better the day before, right?
Exactly.
And the day before was a hard day for us. And it wasn't like anything bad, but I don't have a cherished memory of that day.
Yeah.
And the next day she didn't know who I was anymore.
Yeah. And I can relate to that because my husband became nonverbal about
Oh,
6 weeks before he died.
that is so hard.
And, like he said, nobody can tell you when that day is going to come. But when
Yeah.
it comes, I remember thinking, gosh, I wish had certain conversations with him, or I
Yeah.
wish, things that you can never ever get back. And
Yeah.
so, these are the moments, like, we need to make sure that we treat them as precious and
Right.
get the resources. A quote that I heard, I forget the podcast I was listening to, and the quote was, help is part of the way,
Oh,
right? That getting that help, it gives you and all the people around you the support you need to make these moments precious, because that's the one thing no one can give you back is
yeah.
time and those moments, right? And so if there's a real solution to what you're
Right.
going through today, so that you can be the person having that moment, because no one else can have that moment for you and for
No
your
one.
loved one,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
let's let other people take care of the other stuff, so you can have those moments, because they truly are so precious. And I'm not a real woo-woo person, but having gone through that experience with my
Yeah.
family and with my late husband, I really do appreciate that these are the most precious
Yeah.
parts of life. And
Yeah.
6 years on, like you mentioned about how it's like you think about those moments and you get this gut-wrenching feeling, and it just sort of squeezes the tears out of you.
Right.
That is, that still is happening for me. And I think about my children and what they missed out on with their dad not
Yeah.
being here. Nothing can fix that, right?
Nothing.
But getting help and getting support,
Yeah.
that can help you keep going. And even thinking about myself and how much I used to just, squeeze every tiny little piece of myself to give my family what they needed. Well,
Yeah.
it cost me so much, and I was not kind to myself. I didn't take mindful moments. Audrey was just giving us that mindful moment. Those moments, even if they seem small,
Yeah.
they fill up your reserves in a way that creates more space for the job that you need to do as a
Yeah.
caregiver. So
Yeah.
I wish I had reached for those resources. And I really encourage other caregivers to do that for themselves. You're not being selfish, you're actually giving back to the people you love.
I love it. And so, again, you guys, a coach. Did you ever think you needed a caregiving coach? And here's somebody who has lived experience, who understands you and knows what you're going through, who still feels those feelings. And so, this is why, whenever you look for that kind of guidance and that kind of support, look to the people who get it. And Ebna is one of those who gets it. And that's why I really wanted to bring you, on the show, talk to you. And, I know you do a lot of different things in your coaching, and, there's ways to change your mindset and all of those kind of things that help. And so this isn't just, like a support session or a group. It's really a coaching program that you have, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the way that I talk to people about it too is that it's both coaching, because I believe that coaching can really help you change your mind in a way where you take the actions that you need to take to better your own life.
Right.
And the other piece of my coaching is there's an action element. I believe that there are times where the coaching is great. You've shifted your mindset, you know what you need to do. And as a caregiver, you don't have the time to go and research who are
Yeah.
the service providers and do they have availability and how much does it cost and you don't have time for that. And so
No.
part of my job is to take it from the coaching and from the decisions you're making about what you want to change, and also help you do the actionable piece, the pieces that I can do, like doing the research about where you can get support. I'll do that part for you, so that all you need to do is say yes, make a decision, and then off you
And
go
there
to
you go.
implement.
And this is why Abna is now one of our trusted partners with Give Me a Break. So, to all the community out there, you can definitely benefit from connecting with Abna. And she has her number on the screen. You can contact her at 202-421-6323, or just go to EPIAPAU. It's epiapau.com. All right. For those of you that are going to be listening in on podcast, just contact us, and we can always get you connected if you didn't catch all of that information. But I'll say it one more time. It is EPI, Epi, APAU, epiapau.com, 202-421-6323 for Abna Apau. And she is amazing. And I also think that you're offering a special for some of those who are listening in on our audience and who may listen later on podcast, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So on my website, I do have a page that lists out the work that I do. I do work with folks individually, We do life strategy sessions together. And then the other thing I do is I sometimes do life strategy sessions with groups, because I think there's a lot of wisdom that comes up when groups work together, especially groups of caregivers. So for folks who want to work with me individually or work with me collectively, I'm offering a 20% discount on my rates. So please feel free to reach out, contact me. I'm happy to support you in any way that is useful to you and your families.
That's incredibly generous. And that really is. A lot of times people don't understand, but most times, especially those of us who do this because we are passion motivated, we don't have like a super high markup. you know and this is and this is really, we also, we're not in it for we're not in it, to win it financially, right? This
Yep.
is the win is so different for us. So, that is super generous at 20% off, you guys. What an opportunity. Contact Abna today. Get some coaching and survive that caregiving. And that's why we had you here. I'm so honored that you took time to be with us today. I know you have to pick up your kids
Yes,
and
I do.
and give them an extra big hug today, and from all of us to them as well, and to you. And thank you so much for being on and for your time. I really appreciate it. And we definitely need to connect up on some other things as well. So I'll be in touch too.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for the
Abna.
opportunity, Savvy, and thank you
Aloha.
also for the mindful moment. Aloha.
Yes. Aloha. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and I didn't mention it, but you can just use your leave button at the leave studio button anytime, so that you can go and get your kids, and it won't affect the show. So, mahalo, Abna, and your kind heart, and for sharing. I told you guys, life changing. Now, if you're not feeling it like right here in the throat right now, because I'm still trying to fight it back, and I've got a few tears there. But boy, I'll tell you, that's the whole thing when it comes to caregivers. We are givers, and that giving doesn't stop. Even after we care for someone, we're going to care for each other, and we stick together as a community. And that's really what it's about. It's about community. And we want those resources. Oh man, do we want those resources? Because, raise your hand if you've had a hard time with that. I struggled. So that's what we do the Caring Caregiver Show for, right? We want to bring those resources to you so you can meet the people, hear them, talk to them, hear their story. That's why I share their caregiving story, so you understand that they get you. They know what that's like. And so Give Me a Break brings this show to you, but it is again sponsored by Giver's Guides online magazine. The beauty of an online magazine, of course, is that you can take it with you everywhere you go. You can look at it and read it anytime. Anytime you got your phone, you got your iPad, you can check out the magazine. All right. So get your subscription today. $24.99 for a whole year, you guys. It is so affordable. That's $2 a month. And that helps caregivers just like you benefit in so many ways. It really helps us, and it really helps us to cover some of the costs of keeping our nonprofit going. And that's for Give Me a Break. And that's why we also have the Caring Caregiver Show here for you. And that's to connect you with those resources and communities for your wellness and survival as the goal. So now next week, I will be having Bina Coleman of Compassionate Callers. Super, super cool. Great idea. You're going to love it. You really need to hear Bina and what she's come up with in her business. Why didn't I think of it kind of a moment? And also Lennon Akasaka, who is the owner and ACSM certified personal trainer of Blue Fitness Hawaii. And he is the greatest person. I met him at an event, and he just has the greatest heart for people. And he has a program that you can do with your caree, and that can be done right at home. And that doesn't even, it's not like exhausting, or we're not talking about fitness, run around the world kind of stuff. We're talking about just keeping fit enough to keep going here. And what a great person. You'll get to talk with him next week. I'm super excited about that show. You don't want to miss it. Also, next week, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So you're going to want to turn into that, because for March 3rd, I believe it's March 3rd, is Caregiver Appreciation Day. And so next week on our show on Wednesday, we're going to be doing a giveaway for Caregiver Appreciation Day in hopes that the gift you get will arrive in time for you to use it on Caregiver Appreciation Day. And we're going to be giving away a caregiver pamper kit. So I'll talk more about it next week. Tune in. You'll hear more about how to do that, how to qualify, but you've got to be on live to be able to win it. So spread the word, let people know that we're doing this giveaway, because you're going to want to be on live, because you're going to have to enter something in the chat and you're going to get to win the prize. So that's going to be our giveaway for Caregiver Appreciation Day. Super excited about that for next week. And so set a reminder. Every Wednesday at 12 noon, Hawaii Standard Time, the Caring Caregiver Show. And you don't want to miss it. And it's okay, of course, if you do, because we are a week after each show, we're available on podcast. So all the past episodes are already there, but this week's will be on in a week. So you can go to Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any platform that you get your podcast from. You can get our podcast as well. Just type in Caring Caregiver Show, or you can just go to our website, thecaringcaregivershow.com, right there on the screen for those of you watching live. Take a screenshot, go onto our website, and you can watch past episodes or even listen to audio. And now you can even watch us on Olelo TV 53. So that we're really excited about. And thank you to the team and Ohana at Olelo for helping support caregivers everywhere and connecting them to resources. And of course, stay connected. Don't forget, we have our online support sessions for you every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And shortly, we will be starting a 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday's session. And that's more for people who are not located here as well, but have a hard time with the time zones. So to accommodate more time zones, we're going to be starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon one. Stay tuned. We'll announce the start date of that session as well. So there will be 2 to choose from. All right. And that's exciting. And you can get more information at Give Me a Break. Just go to gab808.org. And in the meantime, folks, please remember to breathe. Just breathe. And hoping that you find more joy in your caregiving every week in the Caring Caregiver Show, and every day in your caregiver journey. Thanks for tuning in, and please always be kind to yourself and all of those who are caring. Aloha, everyone. Bye.